Weeds podcast, where the headlines are finished, but the deep dives last. With Amber and Laura on the mic, you dig, we dig you deeper on the dive till the truth comes to light. A military broadcast radio, tune in to the strangest stories with a skeptical grin. Stranger things have happened, but it's all real life, like exhuming dead bodies in the middle of the night. A paranormal whispers in the back of the hall, mysteries in the shadows over nightfall. Laura throws sass with a snarky attack, and Amber's got the facts and the case file stacked. The headlines are wild like a gypsy rose thread. Everybody's talking, we go deeper instead. So buckle up tight if you're ready to proceed. The truth goes deep when you enter the weeds. Into the Weeds with Amber and Laura on Military Broadcast Radio.
Josh Duggar, the former reality TV figure from Arkansas, will spend 12 and a half years in prison after his child porn conviction. A federal judge handed down the sentence today, 13 months after his arrest and 5 months after a jury found him guilty of 1 count each of receiving and possessing child pornography. Josh Duggar.
Fear that it might come out?
I don't know that we lived in fear because we'd all resolved it. It had been forgiven.
Hey, you know, you're getting ready to get married.
I did know that.
I thought it'd be time to have a man-to-man talk with you.
Ah.
About the birds and the bees.
Man, let me tell you something. You have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know that family, and I do. You don't know what those parents did and how they worked to try to take care of their entire family.
I found that the process by which this was released, it was utterly illegal. As governor of Arkansas, I can tell you that those juvenile records should never have been released. That was against the law. Somebody did that in flagrant violation of the law. So was I standing by someone who did something wrong? No. I said that what he did was absolutely unconscionable, but nothing is unforgivable.
Joseph Duggar will soon be sent to Florida to face a judge there for the alleged crimes against a child after he was arrested on March 18th. The sheriff's office in Bay County said Duggar is facing charges of molestation of a victim less than 12, as well as lewd and lascivious behavior conducted by a person older than 18. Investigators say they were contacted March 18th by a Tawnytown detective after a now 14-year-old came forward with allegations from a 2020 vacation. The alleged victim would have been 9.
When my grandparents came to live with my mom and me because my dad's violent threats became too scary for mom to handle on her own, I was given clear rules. Grandpa Duggar could never take me to school, never join me in the backyard for a game of catch, and absolutely never be allowed to come into my room. My grandma checked every single night to make sure I locked my bedroom door before going to bed. If you hear Grandpa in the middle of the night, do not hang out with him, she said. I couldn't sit with him on the couch and watch a movie, I couldn't be alone with him in a car, and I couldn't practice my cheerleading routines in the living room or wear a bathing suit to sunbathe outside. I couldn't even play Barbies in front of him because my grandma didn't want me to risk showing him their naked bodies. Barbies!
Michelle and I love to kiss. We love to hug. Bend your knees a little bit like this. Bend your knees a little bit. And we do that in front of our kids, and I think it's important for our kids to understand that mommy and daddy love each other. You guys watch this. Don't try this at home. Okay. It's after you're married.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Into the Weeds podcast here on Military Broadcast Radio. I'm Laura, and Amber is actually out today. She's currently in Lawton. She's doing a lot of boots on the ground work for the Lawton serial killer case. She actually used some of the funds that were left over from the other FOIA fund to try and get some FOIA requests out of Tina Hogan, who is somebody that we've been covering this whole time and somebody that she actually has personal connections to. She was a 10-year-old little girl who went missing while she was delivering candy bars or trying to sell candy bars in her neighborhood. And then unfortunately she was found murdered. So she's doing a lot of important work. So send a lot of encouragement and love her way. I just want to give a big shout out to everybody that's in here in the chat today. Hello to Evil Ghost, Samantha Cooney, Panda Fiend, Stacy the OG, Joy as always. We have Noni Darla, Sam, Teffy, Maria Moore, Rainbow, Jacqueline, and there's more that just keep going through, but I need to get the show on the road. So thank you to everybody, and I'm going to try and keep an eye on the chat. So anyway, the Duggars. The Duggars are a hyperfixation interest of mine, honestly. I have been watching their show since I was a little kid. A lot of you guys know this. Some of you might not. But my mother's Sunday school teacher for several years was actually Mary Duggar, who was Grandma Duggar, who has passed away. She drowned at her home and was found by her daughter. So a lot of the stuff that's been coming out within the last couple of years has been it's been really hard for my mom to digest, to realize that Grandma Duggar probably wasn't that great of a person. And a lot of the stuff has been covered up and goes really, really deep. So anyway, today I have a special guest that's going to be joining me. It's Colty Steph. Some of you guys might know her as Mrs. Fancy Pants, but she's kind of going through a little bit of a rebrand right now. So she's wanting to tell her story, and she knows a little bit about bad religious groups. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pull her up.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Hi, Steph. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I definitely didn't want to do this show alone. So do you also follow the Duggars?
Yes, I followed the Duggars since their first movie, like their first primetime special on TLC. And then like I watched 19 and Counting, and then I watched Counting On. And I thought for the longest time that the Duggars were like the one family that made homeschooling work. Like that's what I thought for the longest time until everything came out about Josh.
Yeah.
And then when everything came out about Josh, then came like the IBLP. Yeah, that's what it is, IBLP. That documentary, that was so interesting.
Shiny Happy People.
Yes. And then we realized that those homeschoolers are just like the Mormon homeschoolers.
Yes, indeed. That's definitely what it seems like. You know, I was homeschooled for about 3 years, but not in the traditional sense.
Were you had the school curriculum though, correct?
I did virtual school.
Okay.
But I didn't finish a single class in those 3 years. So my mom was like, "You're going back to public school." And I was like, okay. So, but I do know a couple people that have had okay. Sorry, the words aren't coming to me. They've had okay experiences with homeschooling. But there are people that were really plugged into their communities and also did mostly virtual school. Their parents weren't as controlling as this sort of thing. And, you know, I have met some people in my adult life where they want to homeschool to try and keep their kids from all of the dangers of public school. And sometimes when I hear that, that kind of rings some alarm bells, because there are some things that I feel like kids need to learn and be around people and experience cultures that are different than their own, and, you know, stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like it's a hindrance a lot of times if you're not.
I feel like it's usually a hindrance. I think I've met one homeschool person that was successful and didn't feel like it held them back. But yeah, they were doing the online virtual school, and then they still went to all the school events. So they just did the schooling part at home. They still had that community.
Yeah.
It's very different when you get into the religious schooling stuff. I've seen some of the curriculum that the Duggars used to do, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. I have a coworker that bless her heart. She's one of the people that goes with like animatronic dinosaurs and will go and like teach science lessons about how dinosaurs and humans are around at the same time and how dinosaurs prove that God exists. And I personally do believe in God, so I'm not sitting here like, you know, saying anything against Christianity or anything like that. But she's one of those types of people, and I think she used to work for was it a Becca? No, it's not a Becca. There's another one. There's another
McAfee?
organization. No, if I remember, I'll bring it up later. But yeah, sometimes I'll hear some things that she's saying, and I also realize like
Your mom says it's Noni.
No, you don't.
What is it? That's not Noni.
Oh no, she's saying hi to somebody in the chat.
Oh, okay.
No,
what is Noni?
I wouldn't know what it is. If I remember what it is, I'll bring it up. But Awana. But I think that's more of a program. But anyway, sometimes I'll hear different little things that she says about it. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of a red flag. But yeah, I mean, stuff happens. But anyway, back to the Duggars specifically. Yeah, I remember when I was like in middle school when I was homeschooled, I would get up early every morning. I would wake up at like 6 a.m. and I would go sit on my couch and I'd watch the Duggars before everybody else woke up. And I just thought it was so cool because my mom knew them, or she had met them one time and she knew the grandma.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, my mom knows someone famous. I thought that was so cool when I was little, even though like the Duggars are such like an odd family to be like repping, but like, yeah.
But they seem so normal for a lot of Fundy families.
They seemed wholesome. I remember my mom wanted me to get married to a Duggar boy. We never went serious enough. My parents were not list, by the way. I want everyone to know that. They weren't like Fundy like this. But yeah, so they were like, oh, you're gonna get married. So I thought that I was like betrothed to Josiah. And I think he's the one that everyone kind of assumes is a little
fruity.
He's married.
I have a brother. I'm waiting for him to come out of the closet too. There's always one.
There's no shame. Well, yeah, because it's like, how did we have two open chomos in the Duggar family, but not one openly gay person? Something's not adding.
Because it's more acceptable to be a chomo than it is to be gay.
Which is
wrong is that? Like, how messed up is that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But okay, I guess we'll just get into it. So I'm sure everybody probably knows, but in 2021, Joshua Duggar was arrested and eventually convicted of possessing CSAM. If you don't know what that is, Google it, but you'll kind of get the idea of what it is from everything else that we're saying here today. And this was after, actually, in 2015, there was an Ashley Madison hack, and his email was exposed as one of the people that were a part of that Ashley Madison dating website. And to anybody who doesn't know what that is, Ashley Madison is a site to cheat on your spouse. So, you know, you can even pay to have like a guaranteed affair and stuff like that. It was a huge thing. Anonymous leaked a bunch of stuff. There were a bunch of government officials that were caught up in that, but he was one of them. And then once the Ashley Madison stuff came out, it turned out that back in the early 2000s, when they were first kind of discovered, they were supposed to go on the Oprah Winfrey show. But somebody anonymously, don't quote me on that, reached out to Oprah and was like, hey, there's something going on with these Duggars that you need to know, and you might not want them on your show. Well, what it turns out that thing was that Josh, the person who did get put away for possessing CSAM, had been inappropriately touching his younger sisters.
This was all the way back in 2015, right?
2015 when we found out about it.
Yeah.
Yes, but it was like, I almost want to say probably like between like 2004 and 2006, probably when these activities are taking place.
They said, because they said Josh was 16 when it happened, which is really old for that stuff.
Yeah. It can be complicated, but I think if you're past double digits and you're making decisions like this, it's something that is very hard to move on from. You know, I'm not going to sit here and make an assessment on what's normal, the things that might happen in families,
it's not
the way
normal.
to take care of it.
It's not normal for anyone to assault a younger sibling.
It's not.
At any age.
Unfortunately, it's stuff that a lot of us have experienced. I guess maybe normal isn't the right word, maybe common. It's more common than a lot of people want to admit, but it is not normal.
Yeah,
so
it sucks to admit that.
it's something that needs to be addressed. But, you know, not only did they not report it to the police when it happened, which is something that I feel like most sane people would do, is report it to the police, but they also sent him away to some kind of like it wasn't even a labor camp. It wasn't like the troubled teen industry. It was one specific person that was within their church. But this man later ended up also getting convicted of possessing CSAM.
Wasn't he the state trooper that gave
Yes.
him the stern talking to?
A stern talking to. And I think he might have
Yes.
dug some holes and had his head shaved. And it was right before, I think, the first special aired, or right after. I think it was right before. And I think the first special was 15 kids and pregnant again. I think that's what it was. And then that was like a special. And then I think they did 17 kids and counting, I want to say, is the first season. I could be wrong.
No, there was 2 specials. 15
There were
kids and
2
17
specials?
kids. Those were the 2 specials. And then the show was 19 kids and counting. And then that went for like 10 years, I want to say. And then Counting On came.
It was
after.
I think it was 17 kids and counting when it started.
I
Then it moved up
think
to
it
19.
was. Yeah. Okay.
And then Counting On Counting On started after all this stuff was exposed about Josh. And something that was actually in that little like reel that I hope that we don't get flagged for that we played at the beginning was a Megyn Kelly interview. And do you remember watching that Megyn Kelly interview when it aired?
Yes. Yes. And I remember being mortified for the girls.
Me as well. And something that a lot of people don't know is Josh was on a couch sitting across from them while they were doing this interview. The fact that Megyn Kelly...
Of course they can't be honest.
No,
of course they can't be honest with their abuser right there. Like,
and you're also
they have to go home and
manipulated.
live with that kid again.
Absolutely. And it's terrifying. It's so sad. And the fact that Anna has stayed with him after all this time. We have some things in the works. I'm not really going to elaborate any further, but it's insane. She actually posted something for the first time in God knows how long. She actually just started a company. I forgot what it's called, but it's basically a puppy mill. She breeds dogs and golden retrievers specifically. And she uploaded a video like maybe a week or 2 ago where she's blonde. She looks totally different. She's like redone her look. And she's advertising this golden retriever puppy breeding business. And she still has her wedding ring on. So it's insane. I have not looked at the chat in a minute, but BCWC1 says, Josh is still trying to blame his employee for the crime. Yes. Steph, do you know about this employee, what he had been charged for previously?
No.
So there's an employee that worked at the car lot. And real quick, I just want to say, when I was in my I thought the Duggars were cool era in like middle school. I remember I told my parents, I was like, I want my first car that I buy to be from the Duggar family car lot, because you know what? That's just a wholesome family. They know what's up.
You were such a kind soul. Look at you trying to shop with morals.
I was a
Look
pain
where that got you.
Okay. I was a pain as a child. I was like, yeah, let's go to the Duggar family car lot. That's what's up. Thankfully, all this stuff was exposed before I was able to get my first car. But, well, not him being arrested, but him at least being a POS. And, you know, Josh still denies it to this day. And like she said, oh, yeah, that's what I was trying to bring up. So there was an employee, and he had gotten charged with some kind of a S abuse charge at some point. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think that he might have been like 18 or 19, and the person that he was with might have been like 16 or 17. I'm not trying to minimize what he did, but I think it was like a weird technicality, if I remember correctly. Do not quote me on that, but I do know that he did get charged with some kind of an SA thing. So Josh saw that and he was like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm going to go ahead and try and that's who I'm going to pin that on. So it didn't work. It didn't work, obviously, but have you seen his like video or his interrogation or whenever they went up to him? He was like, oh, so has child corn been found on my device? And they're like, yeah. He's like, oh, was it an upload or a download? And you're telling me that you're not guilty? Is it an upload or a
Right.
download? So
He knows the
exactly what was
difference.
happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a lot of people know, and they are coming here to hear me talk about, let me make sure I have the right one. I'm going to present this. So, a new member of the Duggar family has now been charged. Actually, two of them, but we're just going to start with one. Joseph Duggar was arrested. Here's the right one. Okay. Joseph Duggar was arrested for, well, actually, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and get into it. Let me just make sure I put the right one on the screen. Okay. Joseph Duggar, ex-19 Kids and Counting star, accused of molesting a minor. Let's see. Police said the girl reported that Duggar allegedly touched her inappropriately during a family vacation in Panama Beach in 2020, where she was 9 years old. The 31 is accused of lewd and lascivious behavior, molests the victim 12 years old, and lewd behavior conducted by a person 18 years or older. The Bay County Sheriff's Office in Florida says the news release he was arrested by police in Tawnytown, Arkansas, and is awaiting extradition to Bay County, which covers Panama City. Tawnytown police said in a statement that they received a report of abuse Wednesday and reported it to the Bay County Sheriff's Department. As the alleged incident had occurred there, in an interview, the now 14-year-old told police that Duggar allegedly her inappropriately on several occasions during a family vacation in Panama City Beach in 2020. The Bay County Sheriff's Office said the girl said Duggar repeatedly asked her to sit on his lap, the sheriff's office said. During the course of the vacation, Duggar also asked the girl to sit next to him on a couch and used a blanket to cover the both of them. The victim told police, after which he allegedly touched her inappropriately. The victim said the incident stopped after Duggar eventually apologized, according to the sheriff's office. The Duggar family and TLC did not immediately respond to a request for comment Wednesday night. The sheriff's office says that the girl's father confronted Duggar about the alleged activities on Tuesday. Duggar admitted his actions to the victim's father and to Tawnytown detectives, the office said. Tawnytown police said officers received a warrant by the Bay County Sheriff's Office at 3 p.m. Wednesday for Duggar's arrest. The Duggar family rose to fame on the hit TLC show 19 Kids and Counting, which aired for 10 seasons from 2008 to 2015, and followed the home life of Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar and their 19 children. The show was axed in 2015 following revelations of their eldest son, Josh Duggar, had done the same thing to 5 children, including 4 of his sisters, one of which was their babysitter, actually. Josh Duggar was sentenced to 12 and a half years in federal prison in 2022 for receiving and possessing CSAM. So, that is the new headline. That's the new story.
Poor little girl.
Yeah. I'm not going to really elaborate on that person because she deserves her privacy.
Oh, yeah.
But it's kind of been found out probably who she is because of context clues and this vacation that they took. It's very heartbreaking, and it was something that was once again in the family. And it seems exactly the same as what Josh did to his sisters.
Mm-hmm. Seems exactly the same to me.
So, looking at the chat, I haven't looked over here in a second. Joy says, as an atheist, I don't approve. As a person figuring out her beliefs, I still don't approve. Nobody, let's see.
I don't think anyone approves of it.
Unless you are severely effed up in the head. Millennial said, I never saw the Duggar show. The similarities were triggering for me, and I already ran off from home and grown into my own when it came out. I'm so glad you haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a while. but it's rough.
There's a lot of child labor on the show. They
Yes.
normalize child labor.
Yes, child labor is normalized, and then on top of that, like none of them got paid for their time on the show, none of the kids, until Jill started to raise a big stink. And I think if certain people signed a contract pledging basically allegiance to Jim Bob and his company, that they would get somewhat of a payout. So,
That just teaches you that you can't even trust your parents at all.
no, well, I mean, it seems like the same thing happened to the Sister Wives kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know how that's kind of going. I don't know if anybody else has been keeping. Well, I started watching it maybe 2 or 3 months ago, like at the beginning of the year, and I'm maybe to like season 12 or 13.
Oh, Sister Wives goes on forever and ever and ever.
It's at season like 20 now, and I have been keeping up to like date with some of the drama that's going on, but obviously I don't have like full context because I haven't watched everything. But those poor kids.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who ends up putting their family on TV, the kids get messed up, they get taken advantage of. 100%.
Why did TLC want to normalize cults so badly? I mean, they wanted to normalize polygamy because the Sister Wives and Big Love, it's all about, I guess, destigmatizing polygamy. And I mean, they chose the Brown family with the AUB because they didn't have any cousin marriages at that time.
Yeah.
So it's like they're trying to paint this picture, but it's going to come out that, just that family didn't marry their cousins. Other Browns did.
Well, Christine and Cody. No. It wasn't Christine and Cody. No? Cody
I don't think
like,
any of them are related.
is he not like distant related? Well, in the very least, I know that oh shoot. Maddie's husband isn't biologically related to her. But I know that her husband's sister married Cody's now deceased brother. And he was like 26, 27 when he met, not when he met Maddie, but when they reconnected, and she was like 17.
Oh my gosh. And he's like, yeah, I like you.
Yeah, he seems like super nice. So when I like started perusing the Sister Wives Reddit, I was like, oh my God, he's just another one of these dirtbags.
Oh yeah, he is. He is. And I'm sure that it'll come out, but they just kept stuff on camera. I mean, there was still abuse. There was physical abuse and there was, emotional abuse, especially from Cody. And it sounds like they didn't get along at all.
No, they weren't friends from the get-go.
Right.
No, it was insane. Okay, I'm gonna put another thing up on screen. Let's see. So this is going to be, I wish that I would have taken a screenshot of this because it has kids' faces, but okay, so this is Joseph and Kendra Duggar. It seems that they actually have 4 kids now, even though there's only 3 kids pictured. But they have, from what I understand, kept their lives offline for the last few years. And a lot of people thought that had to do with Josh, but I'm wondering if it's because that had to do with him doing the same shit that Josh did. Because it was about a year before Josh got arrested. It was in 2020 that this Florida incident took place. And in 2021, Josh got arrested. So it was all kind of coming together. And he talks a big game about Josh. And I think that he might have even been present for like the trial. And yeah, okay. So it says, hello, my name is Joseph and I am married to Kendra. And we have 3 kids. Here are a few things we love to do. I recently finished my real estate broker's license and have enjoyed getting to work in the real estate industry. Also, by the way, I think that he took over his grandma's real estate company. Grandma Duggar, the one that was my mom's Sunday school teacher. Okay. We have also been building houses to sell. I love getting to work outside with my hands, whether it's working on a house or doing other hands-on projects. Being active outdoors and playing sports with my brothers and friends are also some favorite pastimes. We love getting to serve the Lord as a family. Some of the places we enjoy serving in ministries are nursing homes, hospice centers, door-to-door evangelism, and international mission trips. Those all sound like terrifying. Those are all places where you can take advantage of people. Not accusing him of doing so, but that just stuck out to me.
Yeah, you're right.
So anyway, we see that our world has a great need for the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ. Kendra enjoys taking care of her sweet little ones and is a wonderful, caring mother. Well, we'll get back to that. Life is really busy taking care of two, but she always finds time to be active outdoors, join a game of volleyball, or sit down to play the piano. She's also a great organizer and loves to help me work on projects while she is able. The rest of it talks about children, and I don't really feel the need to elaborate on that. But so that's who Joseph and Kendra Duggar are, in case you guys didn't know. Yeah, so a big thing that came out last night is Kendra Duggar was also arrested. Now, the arrest has nothing to do with the Florida case. It has nothing to do with the original molestation charge. But, well, actually, let's just get into it. Okay. This is from people.com. It says Kendra Duggar seen leaving jail hours after she was charged alongside husband Joseph for a child endangerment claims. And this is her mugshot. I can't click on it. And right there you can see, I'll do it there. Right there you can see that's a picture of her after she was leaving. And she's crying, it seems. But look at that. Do you see that mugshot? Does it look like she has almost like a smirk?
Yes, it does look like a smirk.
Does it look like she's almost proud of herself?
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's trying to hold a neutral face and not smile is what it looks like.
I mean, she's staring down that damn camera. And she's like, allegedly, in my own opinion. Joy says she looks mean. She does look a little mean, allegedly. So anyway, it says, need to know, Kendra Duggar was photographed leaving jail on Friday, March 20th. Her departure took place hours after she was charged alongside her husband, Joseph Duggar, in relation to an ongoing investigation surrounding child endangerment claims. Both Kendra and Joseph are facing 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor in the second degree and 4 counts of false imprisonment in the second degree. Kendra Duggar was photographed leaving jail hours after she was charged alongside her husband, Joseph Duggar, in retaliation to an ongoing investigation surrounding child endangerment claims. Both Kendra, 27, and Joseph, 31, are facing 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor in the second degree and 4 counts of false imprisonment in the second degree. The Taneytown Police Department, TPD, said in a news release, Kendra was arrested and booked into the Washington County Detention Center in Fayetteville, Arkansas at 4:56 p.m. local time on Friday, March 20th. She was released shortly by 6:19 p.m. So she was only there from 4:56 to 6:19, y'all. According to jail records viewed by People, which show she posted a $1,470 bond. After her release, Kendra was photographed in a car outside of Washington County Detention Center. She is next scheduled to attend a hearing on Monday, March 23rd. So that is this Monday, y'all. I think. Yeah, no, it is. At 7:45 a.m. She will then be due in court again on April 29th at 2 p.m. Kendra's arrest and subsequent criminal charges came after those of her husband, to whom she's been married since 2017. Charges against Joseph were filed by the Bay County Sheriff's Office on March 18th after authorities learned about an incident that allegedly took place in 2020, in which the former reality star was accused of doing something to a 9-year-old girl on vacation. And then it just kind of gets into what he did again.
I wonder
And
how many
that's
other victims he has, because you don't just start when you're 26.
statistically speaking.
Statistically speaking,
Yeah,
he
I'd say
has
I'd
other
probably agree.
victims.
I'd say that I would probably agree. Um,
And statistically speaking, I am afraid for his children.
statistically speaking, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm just saying I would agree with you. Yeah, I worry for his children. I worry for Josh's children. I know that Anna did not comply with allowing her children to be interviewed, which I don't know how that's even legal.
See, that tells me that Josh did something to her kids and she knows and is okay with it. Because if she, if she was really concerned about protecting her kids, she would leave, but she doesn't.
Samantha Cooney said, "Where are the Duggars currently, or where are the kids currently? Please not with Duggars."
We don't
Well,
know. They haven't
we
said
don't
who
know,
has the kids temporarily.
but I'm assuming that Kendra probably cannot have her children until she at least goes through a couple more court hearings or something, I assume. But so she was at the Duggar compound. They were supposed to meet at the Duggar compound to arrest her, but she was gone. It took over 30 minutes for them to open up the gates to let the police in. And then she eventually ended up turning herself into the police that night.
It's so polite.
So
They waited for them to open the gate. They didn't even do an Afro Man thing. I mean, bust down the
I
gate and go look for her.
have not looked into every single detail of this
Isn't
case.
Jim Bob over some political stuff in the area?
I don't think that he's currently in political office, but in our little thing that my little intro, we showed Mike Huckabee was a staunch supporter of them for a while, and he was a former governor of Arkansas. And I think that his daughter is the current governor of Arkansas.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure. Let me just Google it to make sure that I'm not lying. Governor Arkansas. Okay. Yeah, Sucka. Yeah, pretty much. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, which is really funny because I don't like Candace Owens, but she's been hilarious recently. She's funny. Do
She
not like
has
her.
been.
Very funny.
I've been watching her Erica Kirk stuff and cheering her on, and I have not been a Candace fan, but I'm going to cheer her on for this.
I think some of her stuff is still a little psycho. But yeah, she's on to something with Erica Kirk. But she was showing, I think Sarah Huckabee Sanders was actually like criticizing Candace in some way. And then Candace was like, wait, hold up. And she posted like a text that she got from Charlie from Charlie Kirk, where he said that Sarah Huckabee was like a piece of shit, basically. And I was like, oh, oh. So anyway, very, very interesting. So again, I'm not saying that Jim Bob did anything. Or not did it. Well, that's a whole separate.
My suspicions about Jim Bob. We know Grandpa Duggar is handsy and has done
Yep.
stuff clearly.
Mhm.
But I wonder if Jim Bob won't even hug his daughters because he has those tendencies and he's done stuff in the past.
I would say that I could personally see it allegedly. But I will say that something that's particularly harmful about purity culture, especially in the way that the Duggars promote it, is they almost pretend like the men don't even really have a choice. It's just in their nature that they're sexual beings and they will inevitably do something. And it's like when you're just told over and over again that that's just how you are, that's just how your brain is hardwired, that eventually
You
you might
produce a
not.
bunch of chomos, is what happens.
Yeah, and I don't, if it would have just been Josh, we could have said he was a bad apple. For it to be at least two that have been caught, that leads me to personally believe that something happened, whether that be with their grandfather or the deputy that he had to go work with to be reformed, or his father, or a family friend, because that's another thing. The Duggars had this huge thing where they would let anybody stay in their house for extended periods of time. It
That's
was their
not safe for the
godly duty.
kids.
No,
Oh my
no, it is
gosh.
not. Anybody in and out of that house could have done anything. My mom always tells this
They did
story.
steal the girls' journals. Someone
Yes,
went there
I remember that.
just to scope it out and steal stuff, and I think they stole two girls' journals.
Mhm.
But why are they letting these strangers in their children's spaces? You know, they have
It's
no
very
privacy.
concerning. It's very concerning. And they already don't have enough room as it is. They're already
Right.
squeezing by, you know?
Right.
It's a really concerning thing. So I have to use the bathroom. So I'm gonna show
Okay.
this video. Let me just make sure I put the right one on screen. So I'm gonna put it on 2x speed. It's a 12-minute video. We might watch not the entire thing because after a certain point, it's not super important. But I want y'all to pay attention to some of the words that are exchanged at the very beginning of the clip. It has subtitles for some of it, and some of it isn't clear enough to make out, so they didn't put up subtitles for those things. But there's something that he mentions that's interesting in my personal opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and play it. And yeah. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes we have audio issues, so.
Anything on you in the city you're talking? No. And Parker, what do you have that's missing? No, nothing at all. Oh, well, sorry, I thought you said if I had anything on you. You said not in my pockets, I mean, yeah, immediately you got somewhere else. All right. Any injuries? Well, I don't have anything to train. You been here before? Not this side. I think I got my brother went to school for getting to police stuff training. Oh, yeah. Pepper spray that was over here. Oh, really? Yeah. What's that name? Duggar. He was on school in Montana. He was doing training? Yes. He did part-time with Montana. All right, remember, let's look in that. Wonderful. That's fine, so you know, if I need to put you back in. What's that? Just didn't know what it was. I'm not exactly sure. You don't have to tell me anything you don't know today. I'll go ahead, all right? Yeah. Want to talk sometimes? No, I'm not there. I'm weak. All right. Behind your back, let's see that big right there. All right. That's for social. I know what you know they can email those papers. I don't know that they have. I can check on them. But they can check on the social. I can have my detective.
Okay, so a lot of that stuff is just more of you can kind of hear the girls that are booking them kind of laughing about stuff. But two things that I noticed that I wanted to point out. So first and foremost, the most obvious being that he was talking about his brother, about how he's never been on this side of the bars before, but my brother, it kind of cut out a little bit. You couldn't really see what he was saying. But then also, I don't know if you can really see, and I already exited out of it like completely, so my bad. But he's kind of almost like smiling and smirking and like laughing at the things that the other officers are saying. And like, I understand being like in an awkward situation and just kind of like, accidentally smirking or, laughing awkwardly. Cause I've been there.
I'll admit, I laugh awkwardly at stuff.
So do I. I've laughed at funerals and such, but there's just something especially morbid about being booked for something like he was booked for.
I find it just fascinating and disgusting that they see adultery like an affair as so much worse than this.
Yeah.
Like an
And
affair is excommunicatable, right? They'll excommunicate you for an affair. But like in the Mormon church also, these people don't. They forgive these predators
yeah.
over and over again, and they
Yeah.
focus on forgiving the perpetrator, and then the perpetrator repeats it over and over and over again.
Absolutely.
So it's
And
time to say, if you have a record like that, if you're on a registry, maybe there should be a special church for you where kids aren't allowed to go if you must go to church, you know?
Yeah, it's always the worst ones. I mean, I didn't put any articles or videos or anything about this into what I have now, but Bill Gothard, the leader of the IBLP, as you brought up earlier, Shiny Happy People, it's a really good documentary, very informative, about the religious organization in which the Duggars have spent several years,
Decades.
several decades. And yeah, Bill Gothard, he was accused of doing heinous things to multiple young children that were women. And he's never been married. And it's very strict. And it's really scary. I think he ended up having to shut down. I don't even think that the IVLP is a thing anymore.
I think it is.
Is
I
it?
don't think, yeah, I think it is. I don't think it went anywhere.
Is the IBLP still active? I'm Googling it. I could totally be wrong. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So the Duggar family and the way that the IBLP, like how they handle abuse, is pretty much the same way as Mormons do, because they
Yeah.
handle it internally, they minimize it. Victims are like discouraged from speaking about it, and if you do, you're, you know, you're bitter and unhealed. Like you can't question authority. It's something that's considered so disrespectful. And then like they have this emphasis on blind obedience, and it's obedience over safety. Like you don't get to decide what you want to obey, it's you obey everything without question, and it's
Yeah.
so dangerous. And then how they isolate people from the outside. For me, I didn't realize I could call for help when things were happening to me. Like I didn't realize I could dial 911 and that was an emergency, because you don't consider it an emergency because it's so
Mhm.
normalized.
Yeah, absolutely. And some of our viewers might know or might not know exactly where you're coming from. So would you mind explaining to them kind of
Sure.
just a little bit of your
Yes.
perspective?
So I was raised mainstream Mormon, and my father was a returned missionary. He met my mom at LDS Business College. He's supposed to be like this great guy. He wasn't. He's a dirtbag. Um, but after they got divorced, my mom remarried a man from Richfield, Utah. And Richfield is like the hub of polygamy central. So she married him when I was 10. And by the time I was 11, like we were all taken out of school, myself and my siblings. So we were taken out of school. We weren't allowed to interact with anyone unless it was church. Like we weren't allowed to go anywhere on our own. We weren't allowed. We weren't allowed phones. We didn't have a phone at home, actually.
Wow.
Like there was no way to call for help. So
Mhm.
I was finally taken away from the state, taken away from my parents by the state of Utah, because I finally ran away, and I had enough of a paper trail with other charges. I've been pressed. Like there were 4 different court cases where I was the victim of. So when I finally ran away for the last time and I told the cops what was going on, like my parents' parental rights were revoked, which is really, really hard to do. Like you have to be in immediate danger for them to do that. They always, always go for reunification. But they stripped my parents' rights, and I ended up in state custody for a few months. And then after that, they placed me in a kinship placement with my older brother. That's like, he's 6 years older than I am. So I was 16 and he was 21. And he didn't know what to do. So he went back to my mother and asked for advice. And the advice was to marry me off. So I was married off at 17. Yep. And then I married a guy. He was thankfully around my age. Um, he had just joined the military, and he went special forces. So interesting. There was a lot of deployments early on as a teen mom. It was crazy, crazy, crazy. But yeah, that's basically it.
I
I
imagine
ended up
very
leaving
hard
the
to.
church. Yeah, I left the church in my 20s and had my records removed in 2017 completely.
Well, I have to say that we're all very proud of you for leaving your situation. It's not easy to leave everything you've ever known.
It wasn't easy. It
Leave
wasn't
everything
easy,
you've
and
ever known, and the father of your child, and et cetera, et cetera.
yeah,
So,
it's definitely not easy.
yeah. So while you might not have experience with the IBLP specifically, you do see that there's a lot of parallels between them and the fundamentalist Mormons.
There's so many parallels. So many parallels, especially in the homeschooling section. Like the homeschooling Mormons are extreme. They are interesting. They most of them okay, for example, the people that we rent our house from, they're a massive Mormon family. Massive Mormon family. Wait,
You
what was I
still live in
saying?
Utah, correct?
Yeah, I still live in Utah. So they're Mormon. And oh, what was my damn point?
But you still have to interact with it all the time. There's no
I
escape.
do. I still have to interact with them all the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Do y'all at least
what was
have
my
some
damn
good dirty
point?
soda places?
Yeah, but I used to like Swig, and then I was on floodlit.org, which is a very good resource for anyone who wants to know what kind of abuse goes on in the Mormon church that the Mormon church covers up. As a lot of that. Anyway, so the CEO and the co-owner of Swig targets 12-year-old girls, and he's a registered offender.
And what's Swig?
It's a dirty soda place. So I've made it my
God, I
mission to
hate
tell
that.
everyone,
Really?
don't drink Swig. Don't support a
12-year-olds, you
chomo.
said?
A 12-year-old.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm fine though. I went to Sonic and I got a dirty Dr. Pepper earlier. That's
Oh,
why I
thank
have to
you,
keep
Joy,
my
for
nose
adding
back.
floodlit.
Oh yeah, okay. Y'all look in the comment section below. Joy, you are seriously the best like mod ever. You're over here. You're always putting links to the chat. We never ask you to, but you do your own research and we love it. We absolutely love it. My mom and I were talking. We need to send you like a sweater or a t-shirt or something like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're always
rock that.
doing stuff. Oh, Kung Fu Panda asks, what's a dirty Dr. Pepper? Okay, so a dirty soda, from what I understand, is just a soda with like cream and different like, you can put maybe fruits and different kind of stuff in it.
Yeah.
But at least a dirty Dr. Pepper at Sonic is it's sweet cream and lime. So I like it.
Just
yeah.
add a bunch of stuff like cream and other flavorings, and it's actually really good if you add coconut cream to it.
Yeah, coconut cream.
It's
Yeah,
really good actually.
Yeah,
And then they add in, like they'll add in a Red Bull or something, or extra extra caffeine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Mormons think coffee is of the devil. Coffee is good for you. Drink your coffee.
A caffeine thing, which
no, it's a
is that not
coffee
what it
thing.
is?
No, because they drink Red Bull and all sorts of other caffeine.
So what's wrong with coffee and tea, or is it a hot drink thing?
So what it comes from is back when Emma and Joseph Smith were having like church in their house, the men would chew tobacco and they would spit their tobacco on the floor. Okay. And she got sick of cleaning it up. So she went to her husband, Joseph, and was like, I'm done cleaning this up. Like, I don't want anyone dipping. Like, so I guess their solution was to make the word of wisdom. So they made dipping against the word of wisdom, like tobacco products. And then I heard, this is history, I heard because he was mad at Emma for something, he said that God told him that coffee was off limits, coffee, tea, and hot drinks. So if the men couldn't have their tobacco, the women couldn't have their coffee, I guess.
Their hot
which is
bean
so weird
water.
because they carried coffee over the plains. It was on their
Really?
supply list to bring. Yeah, they drank coffee.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Yep.
wow. These
And also,
fundies.
Joseph Smith never quit drinking
I
because
believe that.
he was drinking the night that he tried to escape from Carthage jail and was killed.
You know, you see the sister wives drink wine.
I don't
One of
blame
those
them.
things.
I'd be stressed the
Oh,
fuck out too if I had two sister wives. Sorry, the F
dude.
word.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, you know, Mary, I mean, I'm sure she's toxic in her own ways and stuff like that, but I can't even imagine living her life and not being drunk all the time. You know what I mean? Just being like, especially like when they were in like Las Vegas and stuff, she was just pushed off to the side. She was just doing her own damn thing. She wasn't really interacting with anybody else in the family. I can't
Poor
blame the
Mary.
woman. Yeah, Mary. I don't even know if she was. I don't even know if she was being a drunkard. I'm just saying, if I were in that situation,
I
100%,
think Mary just
100%.
didn't necessarily fit in with the family.
No.
I think she was a lot stricter than the other wives.
Kung Fu Panda said, "Could you imagine having to put up with Cody and Robin? I'd be drinking." No, for real. That's
I'd be
what I'm
drinking too.
saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, having to deal with all of that, I'd be in a rut. It'd be rough. Yeah. So, whew, again, real quick, I'm gonna go back to the Duggars, our subject of the
Yes.
hour. Let me look, and thank you for sharing your story, by the way. I really appreciate it because a lot of people don't realize that all these fundamentalist cults and sects and different parts of different religions, they do have some intersection points, and
A
it's the
lot.
most toxic of all of the intersection that they could have, and it's a breeding ground for covering up for abuse.
Well, I've done a lot of studying and I've tried to figure out what creates these people. And it seems like
Mhm.
the fundamentalist lifestyle actually creates them because you have um, the high level of obedience without questioning. Um, Everything sexual is taboo. Um,
Mhm.
you're not allowed to express yourself. Um, like they think that suffering is
Yeah.
somehow a virtue. So do Mormons,
Mhm.
by the way.
A
And
lot
they
of
think that, right,
evangelicals.
right. I think any institution that teaches like absolute authority to men and
Mhm.
to like the leaders is going to breed promos.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you one bit. Not one bit. Okay, so everyone's least favorite Duggar, at least for the last decade or so. But shoot, we have another contender. But anyway, the OG piece of something. Josh Duggar reacts to brother Joseph's arrest for child molestation. Have you seen this stuff?
Yes.
Okay, y'all. So I'm just gonna go ahead and read it. And it's crazy. Look, tell me that does not look exactly like Josh Duggar. That's Joseph. Oh, they look so similar. It's not even funny.
They
Um,
do.
okay, so some of Joseph Duggar's family members are speaking out after the TLC reality show star of 19 Kids Accounting was arrested on underage charges in Florida on Wednesday. Josh Duggar, Joseph's older brother, who is currently serving over 12 years in prison on the same similar charges, has commented on the arrest via his lawyer, who has exclusively told British tabloid The Daily Mail that Josh understands the painful reality of being falsely accused of a crime.
He was not falsely accused of any crime. And I'm pretty
No,
sure that
he
he wasn't
admitted
charged
to
for
it.
all his crimes.
Yeah, it seems like, well, yeah. Josh definitely wasn't falsely accused, allegedly, in my opinion. Well, I don't have to say allegedly. He's in prison.
No, it's
Screw
not
you.
allegedly because he pled
It's not
guilty.
alleged. But I'm saying allegedly for this. Allegedly, Joseph didn't plead guilty, but he said he was guilty. He admitted to it over a phone call. So it's just
I
really
wonder why the
interesting to
parents
me.
didn't report it when it happened. Like,
The thing that happened
because
with
it
Joseph.
seems like they knew. Yeah, they seem like they knew it happened 5 years ago. And they've covered it up this long. And I would guess that the girl told an outside person. Therefore, the family was forced to report it.
I'd say it's definitely possible. I didn't read it that way, but it's possible. The thing that has at least been reported, y'all, is that allegedly the victim of the crime went up to her father and said, "Hey, in 2020 this event happened." And the very next day it was reported, or maybe the same day it was reported, and the very next day he was arrested.
I hope it was her family that reported it, because that would
It was her family that reported it, because the alleged confession happened while the father of the daughter was on a phone call with Joseph. And yeah, that's what they report. So I guess we'll find out in the coming months, and we will be keeping y'all updated. But yeah, so with this thing, I don't know if it shows the full statement that Josh made. I might have picked the wrong thing to reference here, but it says, Josh understands the stigma of being accused. His lawyer said he understands how the targeting of a person for publicity can twist the truth into sensationalized fiction. That is insane.
Targeting for publicity?
Yeah, and he was a lobbyist for the Family Research Council, a conservative group. If I remember correctly, a lot of the stuff that he was speaking out as a politician were things like no more porn, no more gay marriage. And it's like, gay marriage is affecting you how? And also porn, the thing that there is I can't remember if it was a security guard or a cameraman for the Duggars who said that Josh would be watching explicit videos while he was literally driving his car.
Oh my gosh, I believe that was the cameraman that came out.
So I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna put something else up on the screen. Darn, I'm having to pee again. So figure out the best way to approach this because I don't have any more videos. Okay. So this is going to be Jill Duggar on 3/19/26. So that was 2 days ago. Jill Duggar also responded. And this is an official response from her and her husband, Derek. We were shocked yesterday evening to learn of Jill's brother, Joseph Duggar's arrest. We learned of anything related to his charges yesterday via text from a friend who messaged us about the recent media reports of Joseph's arrest and his alleged confession to doing something to a juvenile female in 2020. We are shocked and heartbroken. We strongly condemn abuse. We support the rule of law and hope that justice will be achieved. Our hearts go out to the innocent juvenile victim of the unspeakable crime and her family. We pray God gives her strength, comfort, and hope, and that she is able to get all the help and support she needs and deserves in the days ahead. We love our sister-in-law, Kendra, and our 4 nieces and nephews, and pray that they feel loved and supported during this time, as we cannot imagine the indescribable pain they feel as they process and grieve everything. Learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression. Isaiah 1:17. The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. So I do not politically nor morally agree with Jill on everything, but just so much props go out to her as the Duggar that was able to branch out the most and be herself the most.
Yeah. I like Jill.
I like her. There's some
And
things, again,
she
I
has the
don't
guts to wear
agree.
pants.
She has the guts to wear pants. She has the guts to have a nose piercing. She has the guts to
Isn't
wear
that
drugs as
crazy
a
that we're
white
talking about this in
woman.
2026? You can wear
Oh,
pants.
I know, that's insane. Wear pants? Ridiculous. Okay, so there's
You would think they'd be all
another.
about pants because they're more modest.
No kidding. Okay, so there's another thing right here. Can you read that, Steph? Can you see what it says?
Mm,
No, not
let me
really.
blow
Okay.
it up. Okay, I can see it now. Okay.
Would you mind reading that while I pee so quickly?
No worries.
You're the best.
Friday, March 20th, Amy says in a statement obtained by People, in light of the recent allegations involving cousin Joseph Duggar, I am sickened, heartbroken, and deeply angry. My first thoughts are with the victim, a child who deserved to be safe, protected, and surrounded by people she could trust. She continues the courage it took She continues, the courage it took for her to come forward, especially after years of carrying something so heavy, cannot be overstated. The bravery deserves to be honored above all else. Amy, 39, says she was utterly shocked to hear about these allegations of Joseph's arrest. However, at the same time, I am not surprised that another alleged predator has emerged from this toxic system. For years, I have spoken out about the importance of truth, accountability, and protecting children, even when it meant going against my own family, Amy says. Family ties should never equal automatic trust or access, especially when it comes to the safety of children. Image is When an image is protected over truth and silence is chosen over accountability, it creates an environment where abuse can thrive.
Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Looks like she has a little bit more. She says, I have worked hard to break cycles in both my extended family and my immediate family, she adds. My boundaries are in place for a reason, and I have used my voice to expose the darkness and advocate for the protection of children. A journey I wrote about in Holy Disruptor, shattering the shiny facade by getting louder with the truth. This a long name. Okay. As a way to help others recognize the harmful patterns, speak the truth, and find their voice in toxic systems. Amy says she is praying for the victim and her family as they walk through what is sure to be an incredibly difficult road ahead, she adds. Recognizing that we do not yet know the full picture, I'm also praying for Joseph's wife, Kendra, as she begins to process this. And this was also written before Kendra was arrested, by the way. And for the protection of their children, I'm praying for eyes to be opened, and above all, I pray that justice will be served to the fullest. The statement follows Joseph's arrest on Wednesday, March 18th. He was charged with 2 counts of child sex abuse per the Bay County Sheriff's Office in connection with a 2020 incident involving a then 9-year-old girl. And then it just goes more into it. So, yeah. So this is Amy. Amy, Jill, Josh, and I think Jessa also released a statement, but I think it heavily centered Kendra and, sending good vibes her way. And I think that she deleted her initial statement after more things came
She
out.
did.
So I'm not going to share that at the moment. You guys can Google it. It's totally totally easy to find. Someone asked if this is Famey. Yeah, that's Famey. She is, I don't know if I personally want to interview her, but, I believe the things she says. You know what I mean?
She's the normal one out of the Duggars, even though she's
normal.
a cousin.
Yeah, she was always called Crazy Cousin Amy for kissing boys and
How
front
dare
hugging.
she?
Huh?
How dare she?
I know, crazy, insane. Yeah, she's an interesting one, but yeah, guys, I mean, that's pretty much the updates for now. I can look on Duggar Snark and see if anything's happened within the last hour or so.
Okay,
that
you
we've
should
been on
totally
here.
do that before we go.
Yeah, so I'll go on, let's see, reddit.com. Am I logged into anything? Oh, we're logged into my mom's account. Someone was very rude to us on Reddit yesterday. I'm not going to elaborate. Okay. Duggar
Better
Snark.
be
Oh,
nice
what
to
are you?
Amber. I'll come get them. I don't know what I'll
Yeah,
do, but
calling my mom mean names is kind of ridiculous. But fancy, you know who you are. I mean, who knows who they are? Anyway. Okay. So
oh yeah, Amy was crazy because she wore pants.
yeah, she wore pants. I think she tried to be a country music star at one point. I remember watching a special. Okay. I'm going to present this and we're just going to scroll through together. All credits go to r/Duggar Snark subreddit. Also, look at this. Oh, you can't even scroll. That's a profile picture of Jim Bob looking like a dumbass. Okay. We always stand Jim Bob looking like a dumbass. Is this Meech? This is who picked up Kendra when she was released. Who's Meech? I've heard that before. The hair has to be her. Oh, Michelle. Michelle. That kind of looks like it might be Michelle, but there's pants. There's pants.
There are pants, so
And
that would
some
be.
ankle.
And there's some tan there, so that is not Michelle.
Michelle's not tan enough?
No, Michelle doesn't show her skin.
She doesn't show her skin, but I have seen her wear like a little different than what Jibba will wear. Let's see. The self tanner too. There's her pantyhose. Skirt over top. She wore the same when visiting Jill in LA. They're exact same color. Let's see. Where's the picture? Oh, you see that? I don't know. You see she's wearing. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, hold up. Let me. Hold up. Let me. Ooh. I gotta go in somewhere else so you guys can see this. Okay, here's Michelle right here. Can I zoom in? Oh. Oh, nope, that's the most I can zoom in. But she's wearing pants with a skirt over top, maybe?
What?
Yeah. There's a skirt right here. It cuts off at the knee, but she's wearing pants. Same color. There's a little less leg showing, but she does wear pants at some point. So that's that. Hold on, let me go back to right here. I guess they call Michelle Meech. I forgot about that. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, what else? There's Kendra. Before and after. Imagine if the Duggar kids weren't homeschooled. That would be interesting. Okay, what does it say? Oh, this has to do with Jim, or not Jim Bob. This has to do with Jimmy Lee Duggar, which is Jim Bob's father.
Dad.
Holy F y'all, this is from the book that Amy Duggar King wrote. She's talking about her grandpa Duggar. I couldn't sit with him on the couch and watch a movie. I couldn't be alone with him in a car. I couldn't practice my cheerleading routines in the living room or wear a bathing suit and sunbathe outside. I couldn't even play Barbies in front of him because my grandma didn't want me to risk showing him their naked bodies. Above all, I could not under any circumstance step foot in his bedroom or take a bath or shower unless my grandma was home. I wasn't allowed to have friends, hang out, and sleepovers were strictly off limits. Oh, thank you so much, Joy, for gifting a membership. We do have a somewhat recent members only video that we did. It was me and Brandy from the Dragon's Den with Brandy, formerly Uncorked with Brandy, where we go over. Oh shoot, let me just grab it. We went over the first little bit of Calling Out the Truth, a true crime memoir roast of My Time to Stand as retold by the people she forgot to mention, creating the narrative, the lies and manipulations behind the villainization and erasure of Dee Dee Blanchard by Fancy Maselli and Amy Mackey, Act 1. Holy shit.
That's the longest title I've ever heard.
No kidding.
It's gonna be bad.
I will be inviting Brandy on my stream again somewhat soon to revisit a little bit more of that book. If you'd like to come along and tag along, you're more than welcome. But whew, yeah, that's a book. It's something. It's something for sure. So that is a part of our members only content. So feel free to tune into that.
Yeah.
Ruth Carroll said first kiss at the altar. Yeah, I can't even imagine, because I do understand to an extent. Well, no, like we can all live our lives the way that we want to, and I respect that. If you want to save certain things till marriage, I respect that. But there are so many things that if you don't experience before you put a ring on somebody, you don't really know what you're signing up for. You know what I mean?
Right. Test drive the car before buying it. Yes.
And I know that sounds like such a piggish man thing to say, but if I would have gone with the first person I was with, it wouldn't be a pretty thing, you know?
Yeah, right? Right?
I'm not saying I'm in my forever relationship now. Who knows what the world holds, or you know what the future holds, but it doesn't hurt to try things out, to experiment before you commit for the rest of your life or feel like you're stuck to them for the rest of your life because you did something with them. So okay,
I
what is this
agree.
one? Levy Mevy says, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Jim Bob getting a $5 million payout from Walmart was a nail in the coffin. What? He did?
He got a payout from Walmart?
I guess. OT, hush. Shh. Sorry, OT's deciding to bark for no reason whatsoever. Maybe his uncle came out of his room or something like that. I'm assuming that's what it is. It's okay, sweetheart. Anyway, okay, so this says, it's no longer a shut up and listen to dad because you inherit some of that used car lot money. It's now shut up and listen to dad because that inheritance is serious money and the only way you'll ever rise out of what is essentially poverty. His kids are basically enslaved and entirely dependent on him, which is exactly what he always wanted. He wanted uneducated kids with no serious job prospects because they'd have no other choice. He initially had 0% progress towards this goal when they were broke AF during the kids' early years, and he had a tenuous grasp on it as a result of the TLC show and the used car lot type of businesses. But the Walmart payout, he got everything he ever wanted. What's the Walmart payout? Hold up, I'm looking
I
at
didn't
Walmart.
hear about the Walmart payout.
Me neither, and I pay attention to this stuff. Nice hair using Walmart products, Walmart Adventure, writing registry. 1 year ago, $5 million deal. Walmart has bought the land off of Rim Job.
Off of what?
Rim Job?
I thought that's what you said. Okay.
We all know what a rim job is. If you don't know, Google it. Okay. For $5 million. What? What? They had property. They had. That's what it seems like. It seems like they had property that Walmart bought to put a Walmart there. What?
Oh.
What is it? What? I've never heard that before. What in the heck? And I've been following their stuff.
Yeah, me too. It's not the Onion, no.
You know what? But the Onion has been looking more real and real every damn day.
I know, right? There was one I had to double look at, and I'm like, "That's the Onion." Okay, thank God.
I look at the headlines and I have to double check, and not even just that. I'll look at normal headlines and I'll have to do a double take. Like this isn't satire.
Right.
Thank you, Joy. Yes, credit to the Duggar start. 100%. I want to pay my dues to all Reddit communities. I know a lot of times they don't always get the credit they deserve. That also being with some of the gypsy stuff, because I know a lot of y'all know who we are because of the gypsy stuff. So big shout out to GRB, Snark, the Shady Gypverse, and I know there's probably some other ones. GRB Evidence. They have some good stuff. I also pay
Mhm.
attention to Fundy Snark, or maybe it's Fundy Snark Uncensored, and I watch Duggar Snark because they know what's up before I do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, so as of now, that's kind of all of the updates that we have. So thank you so much for coming along, Steph.
Thanks for
Everybody
having
can,
me. It's always fun to talk cults.
yeah, absolutely. And I would say, allegedly, in my opinion, that's kind of what this is. So yeah, do you want to tell everybody where they can find you online?
I'm on TikTok as
On
culty stuff.
Culty Stuff on TikTok, y'all. She has been trying to elaborate on a little bit more of her story, and there's so much more to it, y'all, than anything that she shared here. And there's so much more to it than even the things that she shared with me. I only know the tip of the iceberg. This stuff runs deep, and as she said earlier, Steph was in Mormonism, and I'm sure there's good and bad in every religion, but it seems like there's a lot of bad stuff happening in Mormonism. And so she just tries to kind of bring light to that. So everyone go ahead and give her a follow. Let's see. I see someone said
Thank
should
you.
have a call-in night or something. I live near the Duggar compound and people have known about this family since the early 2000s. I mean, we're only at an hour and a half. Do you want me to put the link in the chat? You can come and chat with me if you want.
I can drop if you want to do a call in. That's
Oh, you
cool, and
don't
I'll
have to
hang out in the
drop it
comments.
all. You don't have
Okay.
to drop it all for us to do a call in.
Okay.
John Snow, if you're interested, let me know and I'll drop the link in the chat. I mean, there's no you'll do a quick chat. Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me put the link in the chat. You can. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not in any rush. I was just thinking I don't have any more articles to share. Okay, I'm gonna put the thing in chat, and if you have something to say, feel free to pop in. And I feel so bad. Celeste, we had her on last week. My mom told me that her mom actually was in the IBLP, and I meant to say that she should pop in, and she offered to pop in. I got so busy the last couple days, and I totally forget. Oh, hold up. The StreamYard link didn't post. Let me. Hey, Steph, if I send you something, will you be able to post it?
I don't.
Oh, never mind. It
No.
went live.
Okay,
It
good.
went live. Never mind. Hi, this is John.
Yeah, this is John. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you. So did you
Jeez.
say that you live near the Duggars?
Let me mute the other stream or something here. There you go, guys. Can you guys hear me now? Okay,
Yeah,
I can hear you.
absolutely.
Yeah, so I actually live near Tawny Town. Probably about is a town called Springdale, which many people may or may not know near Bentonville, where the
Yeah.
Walmart home office is. But I remember I was working with some people. Just to tell you a quick anecdotal story about how many people around here know this. I was working with some people, and I worked with a guy, real Christian, real nice guy, and I'll tell you why that matters in a second. Because one day we were sitting there on break eating lunch, a couple of us, and
Mhm.
he started talking about, or I think somebody else brought up the Duggars, and he started talking
Mhm.
about this was right after I guess Josh had been married on TV, and he goes, well, you know why they had to get Josh married off real quick, and people were like, well, what are you talking about? And they keep in mind this was, I don't remember the time frame, but it was whenever Josh got married real quick on TV. They
Mhm.
married him to that girl. And he goes, well, because Josh was running around touching all the little girls at all the churches and touching his sisters, and they wanted to get him out of the house. And me just being a regular old person, I thought, well, that's a horrible rumor to spread about somebody. And here I thought this
Mhm.
guy was a real nice guy. Then I found out all these years later that apparently it was common knowledge around all the Baptist churches around here, so they had been kicked out of, I guess not publicly, but kicked out quietly,
Mhm.
of almost every Baptist church around here. And I
Really?
guess their whole movement is kind of close to I'm not accusing Baptist people or anything, but I'm saying it's
Yeah.
close to like the Baptist church or something like that. So
Yeah.
they had been kicked out of all the churches around here, and that's one of the real reasons why they just do their church at their house or whatever, because none of the
Mhm.
churches around here want them around, despite what the show might show, or the
Mhm.
when they were on TV and make it look all goody goody and everything. That's not really the case. So I don't have a lot to add to the conversation. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I
No.
just I just want to say that it's common knowledge that not
Mhm.
just Josh, because I would later hear when the stuff came out about Josh, people saying, "Well, yeah, a lot of the guys in the family are like that, so you're gonna start hearing more and more stuff." And then here
How many do you
we
think there are in the family?
I
Like,
really
how
Allegedly.
many?
I really don't know. I mean, I've had
Mhm.
people tell me that there's other ones besides Josh. I'm sure not all the guys are like that. I really
Yeah.
think somebody's got to look at that Jim Bob guy. He's really bizarre, and I've encountered him a couple times in public previously,
Mhm.
and on the show, though, like if the kids are acting out, they'll be like, Laura, don't act like that. It's all good and everything. In public, they
Mhm.
just, from what I've seen once or twice, he was very short with the kids and very upset. So I don't know,
Mhm.
about that, but I think it's kind of all an act. But as far as how many, I don't know. But I've heard like people say, oh, a lot of the boys are like that. Probably if you think about it, and I'm a Christian, so I'm not saying anything against Christian stuff, but if you think about it, if you grow up in a very restrictive environment and you have these kinds of problems, it's not a normal thing that somebody
Mhm.
would touch their sister. I mean, that's just really weird, or a child or an underage child, and you have
Yeah.
these problems, and then somebody tells you, well, just pray about it or just do that. Well, that's not the case, because God's
Mhm.
provided psychiatrists, God's provided all sorts of other options for people. And so I think when they grow up in that kind of really restrictive environment, and then also they're not given the help they need, it's just, it's going to cause these kinds of problems. I think it's really sad. But I've
Yeah.
heard that it's not just Josh. I've heard like, oh, others are going to come out. So I mean, and there's
I believe it.
a lot of creepy stuff about the family. Like they went around promoting something where if you have a baby, then you take the baby's on a blanket and you teach the baby not to crawl off a blanket
Yes.
by
Yeah,
Mhm.
blanket
hitting,
training.
yeah,
Yeah.
by hitting a baby or something. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
By
awful.
Debbie Pearl and oh, I can't remember the guy's name. Is it Joseph? It's something.
yeah,
Debbie
it's
Just
Pearl.
the
Debbie and Joe
pearls, yeah.
Pearl.
The
They,
Pearls, yeah. Blanket training. And I actually had a close personal friend where she told me that she actually found To Train Up a Child, which is the book written by the Pearls,
yeah.
in her father's library. And
My mom
after
had
she
that
grew
book.
up, I'm sorry?
My mom had that book, To Train Up a Child.
Yeah. This close
Jeez.
friend of mine was very disturbed when she got older and realized what all this stuff probably means. And no allegations thrown out to anybody other than the people that have been convicted or accused, but it's like I definitely would not be surprised if more things come out because to have one bad apple, okay, but to have two different people that are doing essentially the same exact thing, um, it just makes me think something may be going on behind the scenes, and I think that you're probably correct, John Snow. Unfortunately, I don't
I
laugh.
think maybe the dad's fooling around with them or something, with people too or something. That's where they learned it from, or something weird's going on. But I can't say that I know
Mhm.
anything about
Yeah,
the other people.
understood.
There's another one of their brothers who I think he's like a deputy or whatever.
Yes.
You could knock me on the floor if he ever did anything, because I don't think that's the case. But I mean, I don't
Mhm.
know. How do you? I mean, gosh,
Yeah.
if somebody touched my
Mhm.
sister, if it was my brother, I'd go beat the hell out of him. I wouldn't care that it's my brother. So I
I
mean,
understand.
I don't understand how they reconcile that. But anyway, that's all I had to add. I've never seen your channel before. I think it's great. I love the ET in the background, and then I'll hop off
Oh.
because yeah, I'll hop off because I'm not much for talking. But you folks have a good night.
Yeah,
Nice to
thank you
meet
so
you.
much for popping up. We appreciate you. Have a good one. Have a good night. Yeah. Wow. I will say, as for Jim Bob, I want to make it very clear that neither John nor us nor anybody knows where the truth lies behind that. But
it doesn't
shit
come
has
from
been
nowhere.
happening. What was that?
It doesn't come from nowhere.
It doesn't come from nowhere, and that could, I mean, sometimes it does, but from two different people, that seems very unlikely to me. And especially considering, it could be the grandfather, it could be Jim Bob, it could be whatever. But the fact that Jim Bob has so willingly covered up for Josh all of these years, not even just when he was a child, but even as an adult paying for his attorneys.
He's paying for a new attorney now, isn't he?
I think he got a new attorney. I think so. I think the person that announced this thing talking about Joe, I think that was a new attorney, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. Very interesting.
I just hope that this guy gets the same treatment as Stephen Stearns.
Oh, Stephen Stearns? Yeah.
Yeah, Stephen Stearns.
Screw that guy. I have a very solid childhood memory of when my grandfather took his own life in Osceola County, Florida, Kissimmee. We were in the same police station that Stephen Stearns went to. I remember watching my mom get interrogated because we went into my mom got taken in one police car and my brother and I got taken in another one. And
that must have been traumatic.
It was. We definitely didn't know what was happening. We also didn't know that when everyone dies, the same things don't happen. But yeah, I remember the female cop that was watching over my brother and I. She took us into this room and it was like a monitor, like there were monitors everywhere. And she was trying to grab some keys so that she could get into this one room to take my brother and I into, so my brother and I could play with toys. I was 9, but I knew that something was wrong. And she showed me my mother. And I think it was like a metal looking room with like a metal table. She's like, "Oh, look, that's your mother. She's fine. Everything's good." Like she's just
like, she doesn't look
and
fine.
I was like, oh shit. Things weren't good. But yeah, same place as Stephen Stearns. I lived in a place that was maybe less than 10 minutes away from where Maddie was found. So that's very close to home. I know some people that went to the same school that she went to, obviously years and years before. But that's really, really sad. So yeah, I would agree. All chomos deserve nothing. Nothing. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining us though. And thank you so much, Steph, for joining us. Again, check out Culty Steph on TikTok. She's uploading slowly but surely, and she's just getting her story out there. So thank you guys for joining in. It's been a rough one, but it's been a necessary one in my opinion. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Thanks so much. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, and as my mother would say, make the world a better place or something like that. So mwah.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up. Stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.